What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. International break is finally over and Premier League football is back. Matchday 8 up against Liverpool at Anfield. 4:30 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. Manager is of course on a slot. So in terms of head-to-head last season in the Premier League, at home, Manchester United unfortunately lost 3-0 in September 2024 under Erik ten Hag. And then away from home at Anfield, Manchester United drew 2-2 in January 2025. So that was a decent result. We know no one expected us to go get a draw at Anfield, and so it was a decent result at the time. So in terms of last season under Arne Slot, Liverpool of course won the league. They won a total of 25 games, drawn 9, lost 4. They scored 86 goals, conceded 41. Finished with a goal difference of plus 45 and accumulated a total of 84 points. So in terms of some insights for the match, let's get into some insights. So Liverpool have lost just one of their last 14 Premier League meetings, with Manchester United winning 7 and drawing 6, a 2-1 defeat at Old Trafford in August 2022. Indeed, since the start of the 2018-19 season, this is the fewest defeats any side to face the Red Devils 3+ times in the competition has had against them. Manchester United are winless in their last 9 Premier League games at Anfield since a 1-0 win in January 2016 under Louis van Gaal, drawing 5 and losing 4. Liverpool could become just the second side to avoid defeat in 10 successive Premier League home games against the Red Devils, after Chelsea from August, with Chelsea who had 10 or from August 2002 to February 2012. So Manchester United have won away to the reigning Premier League title holders. Manchester United won away to the Premier League title holders Manchester City 2-1 last season, but haven't beaten the defending English champions away from home in back-to-back league seasons since 1906-07, which was Liverpool, and 1907-08 Newcastle. Indeed, Ruben Amorim could become only the third manager to win both of his first 2 Premier League away games at reigning champions after Manuel Pellegrini and Antonio Conte. So that's an interesting start. Ruben Amorim could only become the third manager to win both of his first 2 Premier League away games at reigning champions after Pellegrini and Antonio Conte. Number 4, Liverpool have lost both of their last 2 Premier League games after winning their first 5 of the season beforehand. It wasn't until the 31st league match of last season that they suffered their second defeat. The Reds could lose 3 consecutive Premier League games for the first time since February 2021, which was 4. And finally, number 5, Manchester United are winless in their last 8 Premier League away games, drawing 2 and losing 6 since beating Leicester City 3-0 in March. The Red Devils last went longer without a league win on the road in September 1989 under Sir Alex Ferguson, which was 11. So there's some stats for you, some insights for the match. A little bit damning in terms of Manchester United. We are winless at Anfield in our last 9 Premier League games since that 1-0 win in January 2016. And I'm not sure if we're going to be picking up a win at Anfield on Sunday either. So in terms of some recent form for Liverpool, like I mentioned, Liverpool are coming away with 2 back-to-back defeats in the Premier League and a midweek loss to Galatasaray before the international break. So they have lost 3 games in a row. I don't know when the last time that was, in all comps. So they lost to Crystal Palace on the 27th of September. Then they lost to Galatasaray midweek. And then just before the international break, they lost to Chelsea 2-1 as well. So Liverpool aren't in the greatest run of form, so possibly you could argue that it is a really good time to be playing them. I'm not too sure. I think they're going to be looking to bounce back. But in terms of some Liverpool team news, Alisson Becker, the number 1 keeper, is out with a hip injury, I think, while Ibrahima, Konate and Watoro and Endo are doubtful for the game. So in terms of Liverpool's starting 11, this is how I think they're going to line up with. This is the same lineup that started against Chelsea. So Mamadashvili in net, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Kirkes making up the back 4. I did mention that Konate is doubtful for the game, so I'm not sure if he'll make it into the starting 11, but I've got him in anyway. Gravenberch and McAllister making up the two central defensive midfield positions. Then a attacking front three of Salah, Szoboszlai and Gakpo in behind Isak. So notable absentees from this lineup. I think Ekitike misses out in the starting 11 possibly, and Florian Wirtz as well, who's not had the greatest start to the Premier League season so far. I think he's gone obviously 007, 7 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. So that's not what Liverpool fans would have been hoping for when they signed Florian Wirtz for over £100 million. But yeah, in terms of how Liverpool like to play, in terms of in possession with the ball, Liverpool nominally use something like a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, but these are fluid depending on where the ball is and which player is moving. At times, the shape morphs into a 2-3-5 formation or a 3-2-5 structure when fully in build-up or dominant phases. Fullbacks push high and wide, the midfielders spread, and attackers and the number 10s are interchanging positions. So number 2, they like to build up from the back, structured possession. The team prioritizes playing out from the back. Centre-backs and one full-back tucking in to form something closer to a back three, or at least a triangulation for safe pass option under press. Midfielders, especially the double pivot Gravenberch and McAllister, play a key role, moving into half spaces or dropping deep to receive, mixing passes, so fullback switching play, finding pockets between the lines. And number 3, use of the fullback and width. The fullbacks push high and wide to provide width. On the right, Frimpong is especially used to overlap. On the left, Kirkes are part of creating width and stretching the defence. Sometimes there is a asymmetric rotation. When one fullback pushes up, a central midfielder drifts wider or drops into cover, e.g. McAllister moving into the left half space when the left fullback pushes up. Attacking dynamics, interplay, overloads and half spaces. There is an emphasis on overloads and interchanges in the attacking third. The dual 10 engine with Szoboszlai and Wirtz between the lines, drifting wide or interchanging positions to destabilize defensive blocks. Patience in the final third as well, not always trying to force the ball immediately, working it into the box, using cutbacks, waiting for proper angles, looking for vertical passes into spaces. That's how they like to play. Transitions and counter-attacking moments when in possession. When possession is won high up the pitch, there is intent to counter quickly. Forwards and midfielders look for passes into space, exploiting disorganization in the opponent's shape. And finally, tempo and ball circulation. The pace of build-up is mixed, sometimes slower and patient to draw opponents, other times is quicker tempo when space or mismatch is found. The aim is to move the ball with purpose. So in terms of the final third, they like to utilize overlaps, which involve wide players, usually fullbacks, making forward runs in to get around their winger, providing an extra attacking option on the flanks. By doing so, they do create a 2v1 situation with the winger against the opposition fullbacks. Underlaps as well. When the winger receives the ball out wide, he will attract the opposition fullback. This opens the space between the fullback and the centre-back, which allows the number 8 to make underlapping runs into the space. Many players in the box as well. So the midfielders and wingers always look to make runs into these areas to create overloads. The numerical advantages in the box increase their chances of connecting with the cross as more players are present. So you've got multiple targets for the crosser. So I think also Gravenberch is going to be a little bit dangerous as well. I think he scored a couple of goals from that central midfield position. If Bruno Fernandes does play in that double pivot, if he isn't able to track the run off Gravenberch, then he could get onto the end of a couple of crosses or in the box, because he has scored, I think, a couple of times from that defensive midfield position. And I think in the Premier League we have seen a couple of central midfielders, the likes of Zubimendi, Emil Smith-Rowe, Gravenberch, like I mentioned, Moises Caicedo as well. These players, they are making late runs into the box, getting into some dangerous spaces. They're not being tracked by the midfield. They're not being tracked by anyone, so they're getting into some dangerous positions in and around the box. They're getting their strike off and they're scoring goals from that. So you've got a lot of central defensive midfielders scoring goals this season because they're simply not being tracked So hopefully that doesn't happen and we are able to track the late runs of possibly McAllister and Gravenberch when they do make them late surging runs into the box. So in terms of defending without possession, Liverpool under slot still use a high press, but more selectively. Pressing is more trigger based, bad touches, backwards or sideways passes when the opponent is unbalanced, rather than constant all out pressing across the board. Even opposition goal kicks are contested aggressively. Compact midfield defensive shape. When not pressing, Liverpool aim to maintain compactness, deny space between the lines, force opponents wide and block passing lanes centrally. The double pivot helps in covering central spaces. Gravenberch is often key in shifting sideways to cover or assist a fullback when they are drawn out wide. Number 3, defensive positioning and rest defense. When in more passive phases, the shape can shift, stepping up, dropping off, or changing blocks depending on the opponent's position. The back line and midfield may shift into a more narrow shape to protect the centre. Number 4, transition recovering after loss. There is intent to counter press immediately after losing possession to disrupt the opponents before they settle. If the counter press does fail, recovery of defensive shape is important, often with the midfielders and fullbacks dropping back quickly to cover, but there are signs of instability here, especially with new personnel and with Wirtz pushing forward, leaving gaps. So weaknesses, challenges. Number 5, weaknesses, challenges identified because of the attacking commitment. Fullbacks pushing high up the pitch, Wirtz higher up. Also, there are vulnerabilities in transitions. Teams can exploit space left behind by advanced fullbacks or intermediary lines. Also, early in the season, pressing triggers sometimes mistimed. Coordination in the press and shape in defensive transitions has been shaky. So I think Liverpool are a little bit vulnerable when they do lose the ball and their fullbacks are high and wide. The likes of Bradley and Kirkaz, I think they can be got at if they are a little bit unsettled. But I think it's going to be a tough game. I think Liverpool's star man is Alexander Isak, so he's a very dangerous player in and around the box. A deadly striker. I think he's a good signing for them. I think Ekitike just misses out in my opinion. He has scored 23 goals and last season Isak scored 23 goals and provided 6 assists in the league for Newcastle. So he is going to be dangerous in my opinion. And and let's talk about Manchester United a little bit. In terms of Man United, last match, we are coming before the international break. We are coming away with a 2-0 win at home to Sunderland. And in that game, I thought that Ahmad and Mbeumo were combining really well down the right side. All our good play was coming down that side, and we should have been out of sight in the first half, in my opinion. It should have been 4 or 5. Dalot, on the other hand, on the other side in the left wing back position, wasn't good enough in my opinion. I don't think he's good enough to be playing for Man United. I thought he was bad in that game. Dogu wasn't amazing when he came on either. I think, in my opinion, we do need a world-class left wing back because Dalot and Dogu aren't good enough in my opinion. But overall, 3 points, a clean sheet, and we've won 3 games in a row at Old Trafford. I don't know when the last time that happened was. So overall, I couldn't have asked for more in terms of going into the international break, especially after how we were coming away with a really poor loss to Brentford, 3-1 away from home. In terms of United team news, Martinez is of course still out with that injury, but Mazraoui is probably going to be back. I think he'll be part of the bench. I think he'll be part of the matchday squad, but I don't think he'll be starting. So let's look at my preferred Manchester United starting 11. This is my preferred United starting 11. Lemens in net, of course. Euro, De Ligt and Shaw making up the back 3. Then I've got Mbeumo at right wing back, and I'll explain that why I've got him there in a little bit. But Ugarte and Casemiro in the double pivots, in the central defensive midfield positions, providing that defensive stability that we need at Anfield, because Liverpool are going to be attacking us and we need legs in there. We need that ground to cover. We need compact defensive structure. So that's why I've got them 2 in there. Dogu at left wing back, of course. Then a front 3 of Fernandes, Cunha and Sesko. So why have I got Mbeumo at right wing back? The reason is because I want that attacking threat at right wing back position, and I don't want to be playing the likes of Mazraoui or Dalot in that right wing back position, because then we're playing with 7 defensive players, and I think that at that right wing back position, Mbeumo can be a threat. But personally, I don't think Ruben Amorim is going to go for that. I think what's most likely going to happen is that we'll see a front three of Mbeumo, Mount and Sesko, and then a double pivot of Bruno and Casemiro, then Amad at right wing back. Personally, I would go with Mbeumo at right wing back, then push Fernandes a little bit more further forward, because that's his best position, you know what I mean? That's his best position. That's where he's been threatening. That's where he's most threatening for us. That's where he's kind of, that's his best position, you know? I think we need to be playing him, especially in this game at Anfield. I think Fernandes isn't I think he won't be tracking the runs of the likes of the likes of McAllister and Gravenberch, and that's why I think we need Casemiro and Ugarte in there just to provide that defensive stability so they can track the runs. And also, like I mentioned, Mbeumo at right wing back, because I don't want to go too defensive at Anfield, you know what I mean? I want us to have some attacking threat going forward, and I think that Mbeumo in that right wing back position can provide a lot of attacking threat going forward, possibly more than Amad as well, because he's got more quality than Amad. I'm not criticizing Amad in any way, but I think Mbeumo is a slightly better player than him. But I wouldn't be surprised, or I wouldn't be disappointed either if we saw Mbeumo in the inside right 10 position, then Amad at right wing back. Personally, what I don't want to see is, I don't want us starting with 7 defensive players. I would be really annoyed if we did that, because I think that's too defensive, you know. I think this is a really good opportunity for us to get back-to-back wins, and how would it be if we got back-to-back wins under Ruben Amorim for the first time if it was at Anfield? I think that would be a great result for us, and that's why I've gone with Mbeumo at right wing back, because I think he could provide a really good attacking threat, especially when we win the ball back in transition in our own half and we're looking to break forward quickly. If Mbeumo can get on his bike, use that pace that he has, getting in behind, and the likes of, he'll be up against Connor Bradley, he'll be up against their left back, which would be Connor Bradley. Oh, sorry, their left wing back, which would be Kirkes. Sorry. So I think you know, it could spell a good day for us if that were to be the case. But like I said, I think if I was to do a predicted 11, not my preferred, I think Amad would be starting at right. I think Ruben Amorim might decide to go a little bit more defensive, so I wouldn't be even surprised to see Dalot there. Personally, I wouldn't have Dalot in my starting 11. I don't think Dalot's good enough to be playing for Manchester United. But I think Dogu's not good enough either. And I think Dogu is a little bit raw in my opinion. I think we need like a world-class left wing back in my opinion. But yeah, that's my starting 11. In terms of Manchester United star man, I'm going to say it's Bruno Fernandes. He creates the most chances for United, and in these big games, we really rely on him the most. He's created the most chances in the Premier League with 19, and Mbeumo is on 13. So how do you beat Liverpool? Like I mentioned before, number 1 is exploit the space behind the fullbacks. Liverpool's fullbacks push high and provide width, but that leaves space behind them on the flanks. If United use quick wingers or overlapping fullbacks, they can get in behind Liverpool's defence and force uncomfortable defending. Timing long passes over the top or switches of play to exploit those wide channels will be key. Disrupt midfield creativity and overload the central zones. Liverpool's creativity comes from central midfielders making forward runs and combination in half spaces. United should deny those passing lanes, press when Liverpool build from midfield, and use a compact midfield block or double pivot to stop penetration. And that's why I've got Casemiro and Ugarte there, to stop Liverpool playing through the centre of the pitch. Overloading central areas can force Liverpool wide, where crosses are less dangerous. Be patient in build-up and bypass the high press. Liverpool under Arne Slot press aggressively in certain situations. Manchester United need to stay composed in possession. Use short, safe build-up passes. Get the ball out wide or backwards when under pressure. Then exploit the gaps when Liverpool's press is stretched or misaligned. Having players who are comfortable receiving under pressure will help as well. Fast transition and clinical finishing. When Liverpool lose possession high up or during forward pushes, United must counter quickly. Trustworthy runners, sharp passing and forwards who can finish chances clinically are essential. A single break or mistake could decide the game. And number 5, defensive organisation and set piece discipline. United must stay solid defensively, particularly in dealing with Liverpool's aerial ability, particularly with the likes of Van Dijk and Konate, and their dangerous moments from set pieces or crosses. losses, maintaining shape, marking tightly and being alert to second balls, flicks will reduce Liverpool's scoring opportunities. So that's how you beat Liverpool. I think it's going to be a really tough game on Sunday. I'm not kind of too confident with United getting the win. In terms of the league table, let's take a quick look at the league table, and then I'll give you my score prediction. So there's the league table right now. I am recording this on Friday evening, so Premier League fixtures haven't started yet. They do begin tomorrow for this round. Man United sit in 10th position, and if we do pick up the win, we would move to 13 points, and we would push right up into the European places, possibly moving up into 6th position. But our goal difference is a little bit poor, so we wouldn't be able to be breaking into the top 5 as of yet. But, you know, if Liverpool do win, Liverpool would move to 18 points, and they're going to be looking to bounce back. You know, Liverpool are going to be looking to bounce back because they've got back-to-back losses against Crystal Palace and Chelsea, so they're going to be. I don't think it's a good time to be playing Liverpool personally. Other people may disagree, but I think Liverpool are going to be really up for it. They're going to be looking to bounce back from their back-to-back defeats against Palace and Chelsea, so I think it's going to be a tough game. So yeah, in terms of my score prediction, I am going to go for a 2-0 Liverpool win. Salah and Ekitike to get the goals, and our last Premier League win at Anfield came on the January 17th, 2016, when Wayne Rooney grabbed the only goal of the game in a 1-0 win. And I don't like to be pessimistic, but you know, I'm gonna have to go with the Liverpool win. I just don't think Amorim can turn this around as of yet still, because the writing is on the wall. The writing is still on the wall, and Amorim's Premier League record is still awful. A home win against Sunderland before the international break doesn't change this. At this moment in time, I'm still very pessimistic. I just don't have the confidence to back this Manchester United side to get the job done and get 2 wins in a row. Hopefully they do prove me wrong. I want them to win, of course, but I'm preparing myself for the worst to avoid disappointment. And if we do get the win, it would be really, I think it could be a turning point, you know, because we've not got back-to-back wins in the Premier League under Ruben Amorim, and this is the perfect opportunity to be doing so. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, and hopefully Manchester United do come away with the win. Anyway, if you enjoyed this preview, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you after the match.